Alright everyone, welcome back. This is episode 2 of Nobodies in Kenshi. In the last episode we arrived in Shobatai, and here we're just gonna quickly check with the Shinobi Thief fence to see if they have something that we can buy, but no, we're broke. Our objective here is to find a special recruit, which can be acquired for free. She stays at one of the bars, which we'll find here soon enough. While we do that, I wanted to say that I've noticed after remixing that there's some quality issues with the recording. And they're not really recording issues, but rather Kenshi. So I did some digging, and after playing around a little bit with the settings, I managed to fix it for further videos. I do apologize if this one is still gonna have some pixelating effects in the recording, but hopefully that gets fixed the next time. Here we arrive at the top of the food house and we find Ridley. Ridley has some pretty decent stats for a beginner. And as you will see in the conversation here, she appears to be bored and seeking adventure, which is great because we need an adventuring partner. There are ways to play the game solo, but sticking to the sentiment of being more realistic about it, I believe someone that has lost an arm and lost everything and has been trying to survive in the wild for days would certainly appreciate some company moving forward, and that's what we're gonna do. Ridley is gonna play an important role, which is that of being able to carry other characters. Here we take a look at her stats. Got some pretty decent strength, toughness, and dexterity, as well as some more not so much beginnerish levels. Although pretty newbie levels of skills, better than we are. Her athletics is not so great, which means her run speed's not great. So we're gonna have to be careful because we're gonna make a long trip. Shubatai is kind of nice as a starting town if you want to mine outside and just sort of stick around. But it's quite dangerous to some extent, and it doesn't offer much aside from the odd skimmer outside. Most of the enemy patrols that come around end up crossing paths either with manhunters or samurais, and they end up fighting them, so we don't get a chance to actually catch a bounty on our own. And I decided I don't want to cheese this game. I want to play it sort of hardcore and get the real sentiment of it, you know. If the guards kill or help too much in a fight, it's just not our fight. I don't feel like that's earned. I also adjusted the audio a little bit in this video because I think the sound effects and the music were too high. And here we're gonna change the name for whatever of the squad and also of our faction. Just keep in mind that's not what we're gonna keep it as. Later on, I actually change it to the Nobodies. Ridley seems to be having a nice chat there with that hiver sitting at the bar, but it's time to go, so let's get going. There are some free camp beds that we can use in town, so we take advantage of those, mostly so we can rest and stop the hunger meter, or significantly reduce it. We're also looking at our stats here, which are pretty low compared to Ridley, but, you know, we'll do our best. The next morning we set out pretty early, and our destination is heft. There seems to be skimmers, and sure enough, one was sneaking up on us, so we need to run back. Here we will let the samurais deal with them, and we'll join in on the fight to help too. But since we didn't do most of the damage there, we're not actually gonna loot the skimmer or anything. And off we go again. Later on, we come up on a massive brawl going on. Some samurais from the United Cities are beating up some outlaw farmers, and some of them have bounties. We take the chance here to try and draw one of them out of the group. The other farmer had a better bounty, but he was already damaged by the samurai, so we're gonna try to pull the one that is least damage here. We managed, so now we gotta fight them. I don't think we finished this fight just on our own. The samurais probably come and help, but this is gonna help us increase our skills. Just to think that 5 days before, we were by ourselves, sort of in the same spot of the desert, with nothing. And now we're sort of fighting side by side with the samurais, trying to take down some outlaws. The sandals there are a great addition, as it's going to increase our running speed. And we're going to have Ridley pick this outlaw up, and we're going to turn them in for that bounty. Quickly bandage up, and then we'll move on. And on editing, it seems I made a mistake, and I actually pulled the one that was with the higher bounty. Oh well. We got some help from the samurais, but I feel like we did put in a good fight, so maybe we do earn this bounty. Our first aid skill is still very low, which is why it's important to practice it. It's taking forever, so we're gonna move on and finish healing later. We arrive in Haft without much issue, although it takes quite a few hours to get there. And I think we're gonna go inside here and finish healing. The city of Haft is going to provide us with a lot of what we need to get started out, especially for adventuring. There are these bandits around, which we'll collect for bounties. There are some animals that spawn, and we can hunt, both for skill and for pelts. And there are also free beds, which you can see in the background there. We're making sure we heal the outlaw farmer too, to gain some skill points. This bounty is going to be enough for us to buy more medikits. So let's go turn them in and make a quick buck. Here we can see the stats of our characters. I was checking if Ridley's strength was going up, and it appears that it is, very slowly, because she's carrying the prisoner. And there you go, 1,676 cats. Here we take a closer look at our adventuring duo. They did great so far. Then we go outside after resting and we pull another rebel farmer. I noticed that Yumi was trying to use the iron club, and it's also very heavy for her, so I decided to give it to Ridley. This is an outlaw swordsman, which is a little bit harder than the actual outlaw farmers in most cases. They also have swords, which do cutting damage. Just checking real quick to make sure not a lot of friends are coming over. And Burn from the Drifters appears to have taken an interest in this fight going on and decides to join with his martial arts and gets beat up immediately, but assists us by distracting the enemy. What a great fight this has become. It's a 3-on-1 with an unexpected third party. Damn, we're beating this guy up. When is he gonna fall down? Yumi and Ridley is still in marginally good shape. Burn punches for 3 damage, takes a sword to the gut for 25, and Yumi finishes the enemy off with an up-head swing. What a fight! What a fight. This was so successful. Now we're gonna heal Burn, of course, I think. No, we're not gonna heal Burn. We're just gonna run away. Thank you, Burn. You might have saved us. You're the greatest. We'll see you again one day. Over the years playing this game, back in the day, I've gotten into the habit of running inside town to heal myself and the captured enemies, especially if you're around the United Cities, because they have those hunting nobles outside. Hunting nobles are some quite skilled characters that have diplomatic status and hunt low life people, e.g., us, for sport. And they use, I think, an eagle's cross to do it. So sometimes you don't even see it. They put a bolt on you, chop your arm off. If you're inside the city, they will not aggro. I think we also ran out of medic kits, so we had to buy a new one for each one of Ridley and Yumi, and now we can do the healing. I almost forgot to loot our prisoner. So we were gonna turn him in and lose on that cash. But of course, we're gonna take his sword, medikit, and the armor and clothes so we can sell them. I mean, not sell them into slavery, but turn them into the authorities. After our last two fights, this is where you can see why we needed Ridley. Ridley is able to carry these guys, right? And help us. Also, here I purchase a shoddy grade samurai armor and a standard grade, I think, tin can helmet for Ridley. She comes with very low armor for the torso and the head. As we are resting in the middle of the night, a major brawl breaks out between the city heroes and the samurai and one of the caravans. We're not going to join this, of course, we're just watching. This is far above our pay grade. Plus, the samurais are going to beat everyone up. The next day, we go back to hunting some bounties and we pull another outlaw swordsman. And in the back there, you can see that the rest of the outlaw farmers are getting eaten up by skimmers. This fight doesn't look like it's going as well for us. We're barely hitting and we're getting damaged a lot. Unfortunately, Yumi goes down with a severely wounded chest. And we are bested by the swordsman. Luckily, that skimmer in the back doesn't pay attention to us. And there's nothing that they can steal from us because we don't have any food. I remember to turn in the sneak because we're gonna wake up soon and we don't want to attract any attention. We're gonna have to heal Yumi and then drag her back in. At this point, this was a very close brush with death for both our characters here. It's a good reminder that it's not always fun and games and we can't always win. Luckily, the skimmers had their attention elsewhere, so did the outlaw swordsman. So we sneak away out a little bit and continue into town. If we had passed out and remained unconscious for a little longer, that group of slavers there might have tried to actually enslave us. So here we're gonna take our friend to the bed, which is free. And then we're also gonna take a rest to hopefully recover from our injuries. We're in no condition to fight again. We also need to buy a few more basic first aid kits. So we're gonna get one each. And the night goes without incident. We sleep until we heal. I always wonder what those two other worlds are out there. And the next morning, another opportunity actually presents itself. It's a band of Garus. Now, Garus can be quite dangerous, but the young ones are actually easy to hunt. They have 3 hide and 10 meat, which makes them just about as valuable as an outlaw farmer bounty. But they have a lot less fighting skills, at least the young ones do. Most importantly, the 10 meat that they carry is going to provide us food, because if you've noticed, we don't have any food. Unfortunately, another Garrett comes up. So let's see how this fight's going to go. I have to kite a little bit with Yumi there, but we managed to get in and take one of them down. Here I immediately loot something from the Garu, so it dies and there's no chance of it getting back up. And I'm gonna quickly bandage while Ridley takes care of the last one for a little bit. It's already suffered a lot of damage to its right leg, but it's still quite dangerous. Again, Yumi goes down, and she's hurt pretty bad. So let's hope Ridley can finish the fight here. And that's it, one more hit. We're gonna heal her friend, loot everything, and then carry her back to town to rest and recover again. We are unfortunately unable to carry it all, but we can trade some items to Yumi and then just carry her on our back. So that's what we're gonna do. A little bit of backpack Tetris. Yumi is not in immediate danger of dying, so it's more important that we pick her up and start carrying her inside the settlement so we're protected. While we're out here, it's quite dangerous to spend time healing her, especially because our ability to heal goes, it's low, so the healing goes very slow. A manhunter got punched in. What a mess indeed. The next thing we want to do here is go sell these items, at least the animal skins. And soon we have to actually go cook some of this raw meat so Rayla can eat. Yumi is a Scorchlander, so she can eat the raw meat anyway, but really needs it cooked, so we're gonna cook it later. It's unfortunate, but the bonfire there by the beds does not work for us. We actually have to go outside of the city, make one of our own, and then cook it there. So in the past few days, we've managed to improve our condition a lot. We have quite a bit of money. We bought some better armor, We have a new friend that is part of the group. And we also have quite a bit of food now, at least for a few days. And there's the noble hunter that I was talking about. That's the guy you gotta watch for. Later in the evening, when we're recovered, we find another pack of Garu coming by the city. So we're gonna repeat the previous tactic and try to drag one of them out. Hopefully this time we fight only one and not two. And I also took the precaution to go closer to the gate and to unload my items so I'm not overweight or overloaded for the fight. Being encumbered, I believe, reduces combat speed, and we need all the speed we can get here. Yumi seems to be adept at being taken out right now, which is probably tied to her low toughness score. But we are able to take down another Garu, so we're gonna loot it, get the meat, and also loot all our stuff on the ground, heal ourselves up, and move on. It's been quite a good 2 days. We got 3 Garus and 2 bounties from outlaw farmers. So the future is looking better, right? We are in fact surviving and we are able to pull through. However, I suspect that this way of life is not going to be sustainable long term. So we'll have to think of something else. Right now, though, we can't afford anything, right? We have to get some money so we can make money and then think about what that making money is going to look like. There's another problem with bounties, which is every time you turn one in, we gain reputation. Not gonna lie, that was pretty funny. Anyway, we don't want to get a lot of reputation because we don't want to ally with the United Cities. There's a reason for that, which we will talk about much later. So we get a new piece of armor, this time for Yumi, to have her resist combat a little bit more. And on day 8, around middle of the day, we find another herd of Garus. So very carefully, we're gonna try to aggro just one of the young ones. And if you're new to the game, you might be wondering, why not a bigger one? Well, because the bigger one will beat us up and leave us unconscious on the sand, either to be eaten by a skimmer or enslaved by the manhunters. One day, we will hunt the larger Garus, but not today. Again, I'm going to unload everything. It would be easier if we had a backpack, but we cannot afford that yet. So we just got to deal with it. I was making sure the pack of Garu continue on its way instead of turning around. Sometimes they do. And it looks like the fight's going a little bit better for us this time. Our skills are improving. Several blocks by Yumi and also several hits. She is getting better, although she only has one arm for now. Speaking of which, my choice of heft here was because there's also a skeletal or a robot shop which we can buy skeleton arms. We can't afford them yet, but if we check the store regularly, we might be able to find one. Here I decide to swap my helmet also for a standard gray tin can. And as scanning the town later at night, I realized that someone left some pieces of armor out there. This is probably some NPC that got enslaved or eaten, and their items just fell on the ground. Although I think enslaved, because eaten, the body just disappears with everything, I'm sure. So they're probably enslaved, and their armor was thrown away. So it's free for grabs. We're gonna get it, and we're gonna go sell it. I know it says stolen, but no one's using it. Whoever owned it, it's not here anymore, so we're gonna take it. And then back to bed to recover. Here we take a look at our stats. Our melee attack has gone up by a lot. And when we started this episode, Yumi's strength was like 4, toughness and dex were just 1. So we improved quite a bit in just about 4 days, right? It seems like it's going well. And the life of the lowlife in Kenshi continues as we watch this sunset. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.